Hello everyone, it's Shel from Paper Octio Studio. Today I'm bringing you the prompt for the hashtag November Daily Art Journal 30-day challenge. That is food. And I had this napkin. Somebody sent it to me. I don't know. I have so many napkins from so many people at this point. I have no idea which ones came from where, but I thought this one was perfect background because it had all these words like eat and dinner and dessert and dish and all these different food words on it. So I decided to attach it to my journal. At this point, I'm using my Small Dilutions journal. My jelly print one is actually all full up. So I'm starting out with white pages, which I prefer to start out with the jelly printed pages. Also, a little tip, you saw how easy it was for me to separate the plies of the napkin by just using two pieces of tape and sticking them one on either side and just pulling apart. It comes apart so much easier than trying to sit there and pick at it, which is what I usually do. But it just pulled right apart, and this was a 3-ply napkin, so I took 2 blank plies off of it. And I do save those, and then I jelly print them. And sometimes they're just too thin and they stick to the plate, but sometimes they come out really beautiful, nice, very lightweight collaging paper. So after I got that all down and dried, then I'm taking a little bit of white gesso and my 2-inch brayer, going over it just to make it not so stark, kind of push it back to the background, and also kind of help seal everything in. I didn't gesso the page beforehand, so that's like an extra step of gesso just to get everything sealed. Then these are gelatos. They're in a lipstick tube that you can dial up, and they are a water-based media that's kind of creamy and blends pretty easily. And so I'm just coloring in my background using kind of a gold color and a green gold and then a more olive tone. And then I'm just going to blend that with the baby wipe, and that works really well. This surface is rough because of the napkins being all over it and the gesso and everything, and so this is a good way to blend it without getting the page too soaking wet and making it curl, is to just use the baby wipe to blend it. Works pretty good, actually. I sometimes apply acrylic paint this way as well. So I'm just trying to make sure it's blended all in, and then I add some little darker spots in a few spots where I didn't think it was quite intense enough and I wanted to give more visual texture. So once that is done, then I'm going to now go over this with some clear gesso. And the reason that I'm doing that is because this is a water-based media, so I know I'm going to do collage, and I know I'm going to be putting collage medium over the top of it, and I don't want everything to mush around and run, and I want that color to stay put. So I'm just putting a coat of clear gesso over it, again using my 2-inch brayer. That little brayer comes in handy, I tell you. I use it a lot more than my 4-inch one. And there was a little spot that was curling up, so I glued it back down again. And then giving that a good dry. So now I'm ready to make my focal images, and I'm going to do this using what I call paper painting technique, which is taking different pieces of paper and making them look like something. So I have all these different little boxes. These boxes used to have many cinnamon rolls in them that my mom likes to get, and when she empties the box, she gives me the little boxes, and I use them to sort all my scraps into color, so I call them color boxes. So I have out my green one and my brown one and my red one, and I'm just grabbing different scraps of colors, and I have the rest of the boxes I'm going to need on the floor behind me, and I'm creating images doing that. And this is completely freehand. I'm not drawing them, just simply cutting out shapes out of my scraps. And this one is a hamburger. The buns aren't quite the right colors, but I can live with it. And then I'm making a piece of pizza and just starting out with the crust, and then I will put the cheese and sauce and pepperoni on it afterwards. Just like you would make a pizza, stacking it up. And then I decide I need a drink because I'm one of those people that can't eat without drinking. Like I have to at least have water, if not soda or something. I just get too, I don't know, chewing is too hard or my throat gets choked up or something. I have to drink. I see other people just sit there and eat without drinking, and I'm amazed by that. So there's my cup. And then I've got my pizza dough, pizza crust. And then I'm going to stick down all my little layers of hamburger. It's got everything. It's got lettuce, it's got tomatoes, it's got pickles, it's got ketchup and mustard, and eventually it will be a sesame seed bun. I feel like I should sing a song. 2 all beef patty, special sauce, lettuce, cheese on a sesame seed bun, or something like that. Only I went to a tune, but I can't remember. So I'm not going to sing for you today. I know sometimes I do. And then I feel very embarrassed afterwards. No singing today. Okay, so there's my pizza sauce. I'm going to throw some pizza sauce on there. This is just little scraps that I've torn up because I know that I don't need to cut out a whole piece and cover it because I know that I'm going to be putting some little torn up pieces that look like cheese and then eventually the cutouts of the pepperoni. So I'm just tearing at this point. I'm not cutting at this point. And where do all these scraps come from? They are just leftover stuff, like leftover jelly prints, leftover paper where I've sprayed something, you know, the overspray. When I use these pieces of deli paper as a palette, I just save those, and if there's, you know, a smooth enough spot, I just use that. Also, ones that people have sent me, like overspray paper or painted paper that people have sent me, I keep all that stuff and I just sort it into little boxes. And then when I need it, I've got it. But I definitely was feeling like I needed more browns, so I'm going to need to get some more browns and yellows. So I usually drink water or iced tea with a lemon, so I gave myself a little lemon slice there. And then now I'm going to make a taco. So I'm making the taco shell and trying to figure out how that will work to make it, you know, more three-dimensional and not just like a half of a circle laying there, because then you wouldn't be able to see what was inside. So I needed to make it more dimensional than that. And then I'm putting a little bit of gesso over that paper because it was too dark. Once I decided it was too dark and too orange, so I modified the color a little bit on those taco shells with some acrylic gesso. Might have added a little bit of yellow too to lighten it up a little bit. And then I'm adding some meat and some lettuce and some tomatoes, just again tearing the paper. And then I'll have a little bit of cheese, and then I'll have a taco. And you'll notice all these foods are foods that I really enjoy, but they're not the most healthy ones. I'm not making quinoa and celery sticks and salads and making foods that I like to eat that I probably shouldn't eat. So then I decided to put my title on using stamps, and I'm having a couple different issues. Well, somebody called me on the phone and I forgot to turn the camera back on when I finished the rest of that stamping. But I think that my ink pad needs to be re-inked. It maybe doesn't have enough ink, but also I'm stamping into a journal that has multiple pages, plus it's on a rough surface. So the stamping didn't come out very well, so I'm going to have to do something about that later. I decided that this little corner needed one more thing, you know, odd number and everything, so I added some chocolate chip cookies because who doesn't love chocolate chip cookies? And my grandma used to make them all the time, and I still make them. Haven't really made them recently, but I use her recipe and I make them because it's just a thing in our family. So got some little chocolate chips to put on there so that you know it's a chocolate chip cookie. And that's going to be all my foods. I could have made more, but this was taking too long, so I didn't. So now I'm going to do some outlining using my fine tip Posca. Quite a bit of outlining, actually. I originally started to outline just my letters, and then I decided to go and outline all the food as well because the colors are too similar to the background and they weren't standing out as much as I want them to. I could have shaded. I could have just used like a Stabilo All or a Pitt pen and just shaded around everything, but I just decided to go ahead and make the illustration lines instead. It's pretty easy to do, so first I outlined all the stamping. Then I'm like, should I not? Should I not? And then I decided, yes, I'm going to outline all the food. So if you're enjoying this video, remember to give it a thumbs up. Leave me a comment so I know you were here. Everyone's been doing so well with that. I know I'm making a video every single day, and that's a lot. But people have been leaving me comments. Also, this challenge is over at Instagram. If you type in the hashtag November Daily Art Journal on Instagram, there's tons. There's several hundred pages because people have been playing along. So you can go over there and look at what everybody has made who's been putting them on Instagram, which is really great. That makes us happy that all this work is not for nothing. And what else didn't I say? Also, Peg and Sherry have been making videos. I think Lizzie is too busy with her little baby, so she hasn't really been making videos. She's been making pages and posting them on the Instagram feed, though, so her pages are over there. But the links to Peg and Sherry's videos will be down below, and you can just go directly to them to check them out and see what they made with the same prompts, because their styles are very different than mine, so you'll get something else new and different. So then I'm using my white to go in and add some highlights as well, because if I'm going to use the black, I'm going to use the white. It's just how it is. I think it makes them look more dynamic when they have those little white spaces on them. So what to do about the letters? They look terrible. I decided that the background needed a little bit more something, so I'm using different circle making mark makers that are on my desk. Just the insides of things. That's the inside of a tape. What kind of tape is that? You know, Scotch tape. There we go. Scotch tape roll. And I have different tubes from things, and that one I can't even remember now what it's from, but it was the inside of something, you know, of a roll of something. And they make great little circular marks, which I'm just doing with white gesso, just to give the whole composition a little bit more interest. And then I decide I'm going to color in all the letters using my Posca pens. And these are the medium tip, so it colors fairly quickly. I don't have the large tip ones or the really fat ones, but I do have these mediums, which I bought in a set of, I believe, 15 maybe. There might be 15 colors. I think there is. So I'm just using a different color on each letter. And I think that makes it look better. I didn't like that scratchy, faded, grungy looking stamping. It just did not appeal to me at all. So having the colorful letters is better. But the stamping did give me writing that was not my own. You know, like I didn't write that myself, so it looks more even and straight. My handwriting is terrible, and straight lines are not my friend. Not at all. So once these bright letters are on here, I'm starting to like this page better. I was thinking it looked kind of dull and boring and didn't have enough stuff on it, but once the bright letters are on there, I like it way, way better. I could have made my food bigger, maybe. I don't know. I'm not sure what else I could have put on there to make it seem more full, but it ended up the way I liked it, so it's all good. So then I'm going to put some white splatters using the golden high flow paint in titanium white. No water needed to be added to this. It's great for doing splatters because it's just very vibrant white. So I hope you guys are enjoying this video. I hope that you're enjoying this challenge. Today, when you see this, will be the first day of my vacation. I'm not actually at home. I'm taking off for a week by myself to go on vacation, but there will be no interruption of the service of this challenge. There will be pages every day. That's it for me. Thanks. Bye-bye.